into a larger amount. We ended up raising $2.5 million with investors in Chicago and the coasts both really stepping up. And all this really happened quite fast. From the time where we actually took our first amount of money, things, really started to accelerate. But it was about 2 years before we even took our first dollar. And then things really started to move fast. Like I said, we got that intern. We got that first hire. And now we've got, I think, 35 people. We are, in 12 cities nationwide, San Francisco to New York. We've got people on the ground in a bunch of places. We've got a lot of the team members here. We work with 200 different companies, and things have moved really fast. And as it relates to funding, most recently, we closed a round in June, which was after the $2.5 million. So we just closed our. It's technically a Series A, but for marketing purposes, we call it a post-seed. Right? So we did our Series Seed, and then we just closed our post-seed, which means we technically have to close our Series A. So more about that later. But it's been a crazy ride. It's kind of cool. I remember when I first met Joe, actually through the Accelerate Labs program. We had our first parking spot, our first intern, our first hire, and things seem to move fast and really accelerate. And it really comes down to having great people. And really, we got, I would say, really lucky with the people at Accelerate Labs, and then our first, to have really good advisors around us, and then the people that work, at SpotHero now, the team members. So you can say hey. Like I hate you, but I love them. So thank you. So, anyways, it's been kind of a crazy ride. It started with a couple of driveways. Now I've got a couple of thousand garages, and so I'm sure there's different questions. I could talk about funding, different experiences from bootstrapping to raising our whatever you want to call our round. So with all any questions, let's take it from there. All right. Yes.
So what was the answer to no more flyers?
To Troy. So
how did you go from flyers to what?
So, the flyers, they didn't really work as well as we thought. But they got us a couple of customers. So one of the biggest things that worked was SEO, content marketing in the earliest days. We did a little bit of pay-per-click. We didn't have too much money to spend, but content marketing for us was huge. There were a lot of things related to parking, and that we would rank for. We would pump out area guides.